Hi you guys. So I just watched a video by Athena Beth Black, who was recommended to me and all of her subscribers by Ember Honeyraven. Um, and she posted this video about how she came to be a witch. And first of all, I think Athena Beth Black is a really interesting character on YouTube. Um, There's something about her that is just so vulnerable. Um, a little while ago, I watched a video about 4 different people's reaction to an interaction with the goddess or the divine feminine energy. And Lenora Henson, who writes I forget what the series is called, I've been meaning to get it, but she writes a really cool book series that I'm really interested in, and her name is Lenora Henson, so if you want to learn more about that, that's what her name is, you can look her up. But anyway, she was on it, and man, I am so bad with names right now. Man, what is her name? I follow her on YouTube. I think she's really cool too. I don't know why her name has left my head. Joanna DeVoe. That's who it is. So, Lenora Henson, Joanna DeVoe were on this video talking about divine feminine energy, and it was like a four-way between them and Eric Silvermoon and one other person was there. But at one point, it was a really interesting video too. Sorry, I keep cutting off my sentences and starting new ones, but it was a really interesting video. If you guys can look it up, you totally should. I think it's on Eric Silvermoon's YouTube page. But anyway, at some point during this video, Joanna DeVoe was speaking to Lenora Henson, and she told her that there was just something about her, the way that she spoke, that seemed so vulnerable, as if everything that she was saying came straight from the heart, as if it was possible for her to lose everything with whatever she said next. Something along the lines of that. If you watch the video, you'll hear the exact quote. But when I listened to Athena Beth Black, I think the exact same thing. There's something about her that just screams this kind of vulnerability, and I think it stems from her being relatively new to this. And I'm relatively new to this as well. So I just really appreciate her being on here, because I think on YouTube you come across a lot of people who are veterans to this path, who have done it for a certain number of years, who seem to have a lot of knowledge, and that's really great, because people obviously need to learn, and the only way that you can really learn things is from people who already know things. So it's great that they're on there. It's great that we have people like Ember Honeyraven and Kellyanne Maddox and all the other really great pagans and witches who are on YouTube, who have been at it for years and know where they're going. But I think there's something to be said about seeing someone first start the path and going through that person's journey with them. I think it's beneficial for both the beginners and for the veterans. For the beginners, because you're on the same page as that person who's just starting out, so you get to experience that with them, and you get to grow with them, which I think can be a very beneficial experience. It is for me anyway, as someone who considers himself a beginner here. But for the veterans also, it's a reminder of what it's like to be new again, and to be excited about new ideas, and to not know where you're going, to remind yourself of what beginners are going through, so you can understand maybe their questions better, or interact with them in a better way. So yeah, I just once again really appreciate that she's on there, and if you guys want to, feel free to check her out. She has a lot of videos. She's only been on YouTube apparently for a few months now, but she has a lot of videos, and yeah, she seems like a very sweet person. So, but I actually wanted to talk about this video that she made, which I began talking about like several minutes ago and just haven't gotten around to. She made this video about how she knew that she became a witch, and she brought up something that I think we've all heard before by various different people on YouTube and Tumblr, maybe even in person. But there are several people who claim that they have been born witches. And I'm not making this video to kind of deny that. I'm sure that that's possible. But she kind of talked about how she was jealous of that there were these people who were born witches, and they might have had like this cool aunt who came over and said, well, hey, let's go into the house and we'll do some spell work. And I get that feeling of maybe jealousy that she might be feeling. That's kind of an ugly word for it, but I mean, she talked about how she had grown up in a Christian household, and she didn't really have that experience. But I've said it before, and I still really believe it. I really think that witch is a mindset, and I think that mindset can have carried over from your childhood, even if you weren't physically acting out spells and spellcraft. Everything that you do, I think, can be willed with magic, if you want to call it that. I don't think. I think that kind of mindset of like being born a witch as opposed to not being born a witch, or I think it leads into that same conversation of like who's a real witch and who's not a real witch. I just don't think it's very beneficial. I think that not everyone has that opportunity to have been born into a family that is going to be completely accepting of whatever spiritual path that they go down on. For a lot of us, for a long time, we have to hide who we are and what we believe in, but it doesn't necessarily mean that what we believe in and who we are has never been there. It's always been there. It's been there in our attraction to books like The Wizard of Oz or Harry Potter, or movies like Hocus Pocus or whatever. It seems juvenile, but that is our childhood soul reaching out for things that resonate with what is inherently something witchy or something pagan or something greater than ourselves. And I think all of that attraction, which Athena talks about in her videos, she talks about being attracted to different forms of media that represented witchiness. That's something important. It's not juvenile. It's not shallow. It is the only way that a lot of us can really express this part of ourselves, which is inherently witchy. Within a family that is unaccepting, or within a society that is unaccepting. She talks about being closeted, which she still is. She's, I believe, 44. And, with work and with everything, her family too, I believe. I mean, sometimes it's necessary to remain closeted. But when you're closeted like that, and I know where she's coming from because in a lot of ways I'm closeted too, in regards to that. But when you are closeted like that, it is so freeing to be able to talk about your beliefs openly or express your beliefs openly. And even the tiniest little things, such as her little necklace that she had of the crescent moon and of the life tree, being able to show that even in a kind of unobvious, that's not a word, a kind of secretive kind of way, where not everyone's going to immediately recognize it as being witchy or as being transgressive or whatever you want to call it. Just being able to show even that little bit of having like tarot cards, of lighting a candle, and you yourself knowing what it's supposed to, what it's representing, of it being symbolic of a prayer or a spell or a ritual. Even though other people might not see it that way, to them it's just a simple candle. That is something that is exciting. That's something that resonates with you. So going to a movie theater and seeing The Craft and seeing these cool chicks on screen doing amazing things and feeling that inside of yourself is something that is a part of you, even though it's so fantastical. that's important. And I think that's just as valid as anyone else who claims to have been born a witch, who has been doing spellcraft since they were in diapers. Don't let people take away your validity. Embrace that aspect of yourself that has been calling out to that path your entire life. Um, don't sell yourself short. So yeah, I mean that's just all I really wanted to talk about. It's a very short video, but it just got me thinking about that, and um, yeah. So thank you guys for listening to me. I hope you guys have a really great night. Bye.